You know, I consider 2025 to be among the most bizarre years in high school sprinter history. More sub-10 clockings were recorded than in any previous year. At several significant meetings throughout the year, a few high school students really defeated the experts. Even at the U.S. National Championships in Eugene, Oregon, we witnessed a high school student not only advance to the men's 100-meter final but also take 5th overall as Maurice Gletton ran a 9.92 in one of the most competitive men's 100-meter events in U.S. history. When it came to prep running, I genuinely believed that 2025 would be unbeatable. However, I was mistaken. Actually, I was completely mistaken. Because a few prominent high school athletes have already made sprinting history in the first few weeks of the 2026 season, with one notable performance literally challenging the quickest athletes to ever compete in this event. Let me now explain trackflation to those of you who are unfamiliar with it. This recently mentioned phrase alludes to the idea that younger athletes are only becoming faster over time. Additionally, the difference between these two groups is closing in comparison to the more seasoned track runners. Indeed, one of the main places where trackflation is beginning to spiral out of hand is probably the 100m. However, trackflation is definitely becoming more common in our sport, whether it's in the 400 meters with Quincy Wilson, the mile with Sam Ruth, or the 800 meters with Cooper Lutenhouse. However, Tate Taylor, a senior from Texas, is one of the main causes of this enormous increase in speed, particularly in the 100 meters. Over the past 12 months, Taylor has been working hard to become a great sprint athlete. In the 2025 Texas State Meet, his time in the 200 meters was 20.14. As a junior, he made it to the U.S. Championships in the 100. Additionally, as a junior, he broke the national record in the men's 100 with a time of 9.92 seconds in the Texas State Meet. And he had legal win to accomplish this. Taylor's size, starting skills, and particularly her sprinting endurance make her a really special combination. And this skill seems to be moving at an even faster pace in 2026. Many of the world's top sprinters were scheduled to make their 2026 season debuts at the Miramar Invitational. Kenny Bernerick, Ake Blake, Kishane Thompson, and Tia Clayton were all in attendance. However, Tate Taylor, a high school student, lined up with all of these pros. Even if he finished in second place in the men's 100 with a time of 9.95 seconds with a marginally unlawful tailwind, he still defeated some important professionals, such as Rashid Foster, Ronnie Baker, and Rohan Watson. Taylor's effort was yet another sub-10 clocking, making this extremely uncommon sub-10 performance from a prep athlete relatively typical for him at this time. However, the world wasn't even stunned by what he did in the 100. Because when we move on to the 4x1, he did something that truly stunned everyone. We had a pretty unusual roster of sprinters racing in this men's 4x100. We had two teams from the Dominican Republic. Team Jamaica was present. Two American professional teams with a variety of Olympians and World Championship qualifiers were present. Additionally, we had an all-star Texas high school team that had four of the best sprinters in the country at the moment. Crucially, Tate Taylor was going to take the baton on this 4x1 anchor leg. And despite the fact that he was up against Courtney Lindsay on his inside, who actually qualified for the World Championships last year with a time of 9, and Brandon Hicklin in lane 4. Tate Taylor, who was 82 in the U.S. trials, was not at all intimidated because he had around 4 to 5 meters to make up on Courtney Lindsay and Brandon Hicklin on his inside going into this anchor leg. With a finishing time of 38.52 seconds from Star Athletics, 38, Tate Taylor was agonizingly close to hitting the tape first by the time they all crossed the finish line, giving him a large lead over two of the top professional sprinters in the U.S. at the moment. The USB team clocked in at 53 seconds, whereas this Texas high school all-star team clocked in at 38.56 seconds. This outcome was really startling. This time was about half a second quicker than the current high school national record from Atascosa, who ran a time of 38.92 in 2024, in addition to the fact that they nearly caught these professionals. However, we must examine Tate Taylor more closely in order to concentrate on what truly made this 4x100 time shine. Because the search for the best estimate of Taylor's anchor leg performance really got underway after this race was published. It must have been a crazy time for this anchor split if he spent so much time with Courtney Lindsay. The fact that Lindsay participated in the Olympic 4x100 relay qualification round in 2024 just heightened the thrill of how quickly he actually ran here. Additionally, he dropped an absurd time of 8.88 on his anchor leg split. However, at this year's Miramar Invite, Tate Taylor outran him by a significant margin. It is obvious that Taylor's anchor leg was probably another sub-9 clocking. We discovered that Tate Taylor's anchor leg split was approximately 8 after a few hours of examining the data and computing to the nearest true time that he ran. 76 to 8. 80 seconds, which is a tremendous anchor leg. There have only been 8 recorded 4x100 anchor leg performances in which an athlete ran under 8 seconds. Additionally, Taylor is in a very absurd club of historically fast sprinters because the majority of observers place him in the 8.7 high bracket. The GOAT himself, Usain Bolt, Safa Powell, Lyles from the 2019 World Championships, Connie Sin from the 2024 Olympics, and Zarnell Hughes from the 2024 Olympics are the only athletes who have ever run this fast. It almost seems unbelievable that Tate Taylor, a high school student, has now joined this group of incredibly quick sprinters. However, Tate Taylor's running style actually starts to make more and more sense. Taylor possesses genuinely exceptional top speed and is one of the taller athletes now competing in the high school ranks. Furthermore, no one can truly match his maximum speed capabilities while he is in his top gears. Additionally, unlike the Open 100, which needs a block start, this 4x100 has a rolling start. Taylor is able to reach his higher speeds more quickly as a result. Additionally, it seems to enable him to run faster than the pros and compete. Additionally, Taylor's strength is evident because he is among the top 200 athletes in high school history. And the fact that he fits the anchor leg in the 4x1 so perfectly is just crazy. It will be easy for Taylor to break 10 seconds with legitimate wins in the 100 if he can enhance his start in any way. And since he ran this 995 with a positive 2, he has already demonstrated that he can break 10 with wins that are slightly outside the permitted limit. 2. However, it will be fascinating to watch what this young man can accomplish in the 100 and 200 as the year progresses. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you now. What are your thoughts on this 8? 7 to 8. What 88 actually means for Tate Taylor in 2026. Will he always be under 20 for the 200? Do you think he'll run the 100 in less than 10 seconds with legal wind once more? Do you believe he will surpass both 9 and his own national record of 9.92? 9 this year? I appreciate everyone watching. Until the next occasion.